We are one of the few people who collect glass. Because we're a valet recycling company and we're a medium-sized company, we have the ability to still sort through it and create a very clean stream, which is good for Vetrazzo, and creating the colors and the recipe that you guys need as a glass countertop company. And that's really where the two companies, I feel, came together, knowing that we had the idea of the environment at heart, as well as the commodities at hand, to really come together and make a good product.
We truly are looking for recycled glass. Sometimes it's a challenge. Of course, locally here, sustainability, big part of it is trying to minimize distances, because if you have less distance, then you have less fossil fuel being consumed to be able to carry the product to our factory. So of course we've developed a very close relationship with the local municipal authorities and local suppliers of recycled glass.
On average, 800 bottles go into making one slab. To give you an idea of what that means, consider this. One recycled bottle equals power for a 100-watt light bulb for almost an hour. So the energy savings with Vetrazzo could theoretically light your room for 800 hours, which is a long time if you turn off the light when you leave the room.
America is still very rich in resources, and unfortunately, our products have gone overseas or into a different country, and companies in any kind of time, economic downturn or in good times or bad times, still have to evaluate their bottom line. And I believe that through the evolution of the Industrial Revolution, they will come back to evaluating their bottom line and see that sourcing their materials from a local vendor, such as Remix, rather than either shipping it or importing it, exporting it, whatever may have you, is a lot cheaper to stay local, meaning stay in the United States. If you look at the energy consumption that we use to import and export so many goods from overseas, there will be a point where it'll make sense, if it doesn't already, to keep it here in the United States. And Vetrazzo is smart enough to latch onto that in a very early stage, which is a great thing because it affects the bottom line, and they can keep their bottom line stable.
Way beyond making just new bottles, we're talking to a company that turns it into a statement piece for your kitchen or your bath. This is really cool. Stay tuned.
And that's the beauty, that's one of the most important things about what we're trying to do, is we're trying to create more demand for a recycled product. Without recycled products, then we don't have an alternative. But as we utilize more recycled products, the cost comes down. We find wider uses for them. We understand how they can be used in better ways. You see, people making jackets out of plastic bags. You see wallets that are made of old paper. You see countertops that are made of last night's Heineken bottles. So it's a continuum of making sure that we're not just disposing of everything that comes across our path, to reincorporate it into where we are every day. It makes a big difference, and people really get it, I think.
The world is shifting slowly but surely into a new ideal, instead of doing things as usual. Number one, the economy has made us become more frugal and reevaluate things, as well as just looking at the nature and the essence of how we got where we came from, how the Industrial Revolution had a large impact on us, and how we take things from the earth, how we put them back or don't put them back. So it's definitely a business where you can evaluate those things and you can feel good about what you're doing, and make a difference in your community. We have a very small group of people who we employ, but it's changed their lives.
For years now, scientists have been aware of a floating patch of garbage in the Pacific Ocean called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's twice the size of Texas, and it continues to grow. Our choices make an impact. Together we can change the tide, because even one bottle recycled and reused can make a difference. In addition to productively reusing waste glass, Vetrazzo gets people talking about it, thinking about it, and taking action in their businesses and homes to positively affect the health of our environment and our communities.
People throw around the word sustainability or going green, and a lot of people don't know what that means. And for me, it's knowing it's closing the loop and closing this cycle. And sustainability is taking something that you as a human consume, and you can almost give it back to the earth where really everything comes from. And to see a consumer product like a beer bottle or a piece of glass or a lampshade or anything for that matter, anything that you can recycle, made into a countertop, and you can touch it and feel it and say, this was once a certain kind of bottle, a green, bottle. That's awesome to have it be tangible, because there's so many things that we can talk about, but when you see it in something like a countertop, polished and bright and shiny and everything that everybody wants again, and you can say it's recycled and it looks probably more fabulous than what it started out as, that's exciting. Like, that's what makes recycling close the loop on this idea of sustainability, and really seeing it in person is fun and enjoyable to know that different businesses, Vetrazzo and Remix, can really help in that aspect.